Second goal. Got him. Garoppolo directing traffic. It's Kittle. Hooks it up.
What's up, everyone? Week 9 matchup here between Lance and Sara. So this one was by far the lowest scoring matchup of the week when you combine both scoring outputs from both sides. Lance came out on the wrong side of this one as Sara was able to get a desperately much needed victory here to keep her season alive and stay away from the basement, even though she's kind of tied there at 3-6. But Lance, this was a rough one here, man. You've lost now, 4 in a row? So you were looking pretty strong here. You're 4-1. Now you're 4-5. So you're still very much in the thick of it, but you got to get back on. You got to get back into the winning ways to keep pace here. So let's kind of look and see how the week went. So Jordan Love didn't quite give you what you needed here. Lance had only 13.9 points. Could have been a lot less than that had it not been for a late touchdown. But he ran a little bit, got you 23 yards, almost 200 yards passing, got the 1 TD, 1 pick, but just wasn't his day against the Chiefs. But I kind of understand the matchup. The Chiefs defense isn't very good, but still, it was his first start. Kind of a rough go there for him. Jimmy Garoppolo, speaking of quarterbacks, Sara was very hesitant to kind of go to Jimmy G here. She was like hoping that Kyler would play, and he wouldn't play, but Jimmy stepped in, played really well, 23.34 points, 326 yards through the air, 2 TDs, also had a carry for 3 yards. So definitely an excellent day at the quarterback position and not a bad pivot from Kyler Murray, who couldn't play in this one. Which is funny because Sara kept saying, I should have started Colt McCoy, but Jimmy G outscored Colt McCoy in fantasy. So I don't think you wanted that, Sara. Mike Davis had only 2.3 points, 9 carries, 13 yards, also had 1 catch for 5 yards. So he's having a very disappointing season here. I thought that Mike Davis would be at least like a middle of the road RB2 kind of back, but he's been more of like a flex maybe some weeks. He just hasn't been very good. But Cordero Patterson's been so good, it's taken away touches from him too. But still, it's not a good situation there for Davis running the ball in Atlanta. Dalvin Cook, despite all the news here and with what's happening in his personal life, got 13.7 points here. Had 17 carries, 110 yards. Also had 3 catches for 12 yards, and looks like he's going to be able to play this week. But then again, this is a very fluid situation. So luckily for Sara, she's got Alexander Madison. If you guys know the Hamilton musical, that's why I plug that in a lot, Alexander Madison, but from Hamilton. But still great production there, Dalvin Cook. We'll see what happens with him. Melvin Gordon, though, 16.5 points, 21 carries, 80 yards, and a touchdown. Also had 2 catches for 15 yards. So very excellent day for Melvin Gordon. He's still splitting time with Javonte Williams, but he's getting the bulk of the carries in the red zone area. So that's what's keeping his value very high. So we'll see if that keeps happening there for you, Lance. Try to hold off the young gun there and Javonte Williams to, hopefully keep the value going there for Gordon for you. Zach Moss only had 3.4 points, 3 carries, 6 yards, 2 carries, 18 yards. Kind of shocking. He only had 5 touches all game in like a 6-6 game for much of the time, 6-3 game before they lost 9-6. But he should have gotten more carries, in my opinion, for you, Sara. Just given how ineffective they were in the passing game with Josh Allen, and Zach Moss could have moved the ball more probably in the running game, but it's no opportunities. Jarvis Landry, 2.6 points, had 1 carry, no yards. Also had 3 catches for only 11 yards. Lost a fumble. Not sure. But he did fumble it. But pretty not a great game here. Post OBJ, Donovan Peoples-Jones kind of took over the show in the passing game there for the Browns. So we'll see if Jarvis can bounce back and become that alpha number 1 with OBJ out. Now to the Rams. So that's pretty big news. Marquise Hollywood Brown, 16.1 points, had 9 catches for 116 yards. Excellent production from him. No touchdown, but didn't need it. Jerry Jeudy had 9.9 points, 6 catches, 69 yards. Pretty solid day. Definitely could have used a little bit more yardage or a touchdown to really make it a much better day, but still not bad. Tyler Boyd, though, did have a bad day. Only had 1 catch for 11 yards on 2 targets, so it wasn't even a part of the really the plan there for the Bengals. Just was an afterthought, even though they're getting blown out. Couldn't get any garbage points either. Kind of rough. Dalton Schultz, 7.4 points. Continue to have a very good season here from the tight end spot. Couldn't get into the end zone, but the Cowboys just were a mess all day. But at least he got solid production for a tight end. Speaking of solid production, Kyle Pitts had 7.7 points, 3 catches, 62 yards. He's looking like he's by far the most talented pass catcher, especially with Calvin Ridley out for indefinitely. Don't know if he's even going to come back to the team this season. So Kyle Pitts is definitely the guy that's going to be the straw that stirs the drink, so to speak. So hopefully he gets a touchdown this coming week, but he's just not someone that they can really continue to avoid because he's going to have to be the guy who's going to have to carry the passing game going forward. Marvin Jones, 3.6 points, had 3 catches for 21 yards, very modest production. Could have used a lot more there. Boston Scott had 4 points, came back down to earth from last week. He had a rushing touchdown last week, but this week had the touches, just couldn't turn him into much. No receiving work was asked of him. Michael Badgley had 9 points in the kicking game. Excellent day for him. And Daniel Carlson, 10 points. Did miss a very bad extra point, though, a terrible one, which could have definitely given him a bigger day. But still, 10's not bad. And finally, the Buffalo Bills had 8 points, shutting down the Jags offense for much of the day. And the Steelers had 7, so solid all around there. So Sarah, like I said, congrats to you. You got move up to 3-6. Didn't really score a lot of points, but this was a down week. I think for fantasy, there wasn't a whole lot of big time scoring. Ruben actually led the league this week with 108. So that's, I think in the usual fantasy week, that's probably about the 7th or 8th highest score, not the highest score. So, yeah, good luck to you both going forward. Still a lot of season left to go. So Sarah, keep trying to climb back, and Lance, get back into the winning ways, man. 4-game losing streak. Gotta stop the fall, man. Good luck to you both.